Hey everybody, Mark Edward Lewis here from Cinema Sound. Today we're going to be talking about yet another incredibly important plugin for post-production found in Adobe Audition. And if you've seen any of these videos before and gotten any value out of them, please subscribe to this YouTube channel right away. And let's jump in. This is the Parametric EQ, one of the most basic and one of the most functional and important plugins in any digital audio workstation. And of course, Adobe Auditions does some things that ain't nobody else's EQ does. Let's roll. If you've never opened Adobe Audition or have never used it, I encourage you to go to the cinemasound.com site and get our Adobe Audition 1, 2, 3 education. It'll take you from I've never opened it to doing some pretty cool things. And we talk about parametric EQ there as well. But let's check this out. So we've got 3 clips here in the timeline. Let's just take a listen to them really quickly.
You cannot bluff when you hold no cards. Slowly, Ballard, and I will not shoot you. You Texans and your honor.
Just some pretty simple dialogue from a short film a long time ago, kind of unadulterated. We're going to click on the time tool and just select these bits here, making sure that we're on loop, so it'll just loop and we'll get real tired of this. There's a couple of ways that you can instantiate plugins on clips. One of the ways is if you've selected clips, you can go here and just pull down menu, or you can go to clip effects and just do this in the clip effects rack rather. But since we want to do track effects, we want to apply all of these clips to the same plugin. We're going to do track effects and then go filter and EQ, and here's parametric equalizer. There we go. If you've never seen a parametric equalizer, it's basically the same kind of thing as a fader. A fader takes all the frequencies and makes them go up and down uniformly, but an EQ allows you to do that with specific frequencies, or a lot of frequencies up and down, individually and separate from the fader, which is really, really useful. Like we show you how to do all kinds of things of layering in the Cinema Sound education. So let's jump in. Here on the left, we have the master gain, which basically is just like a fader. You can turn everything up or down. And sometimes we use this as an additional fader when necessary. Then over here we have HP, which doesn't stand for Hewlett-Packard. It stands for high pass filter, which means that everything that is below this setting, in this case 40 hertz, is going to get cut off. And that can be really, really useful if you've got what we have, which is dialogue. You know, this woman's voice doesn't make any sound underneath 120 hertz. So 90 hertz and below, we just want to cut it off because that won't be her voice. That'll be something else. And you can select this in terms of decibels per octave or how draconian you want that. We're just going to want this to be 48 decibels per octave. We have the same thing up here in the top, LP for low pass filter. And we can select this. Check out what happens if we bring this down.
You cannot bluff when you hold no cards.
Right? So it gets really, really dark. We can bring this way down.
You cannot bluff when you hold.
Sounds like, you know, somebody's got a mouth over their hand, a hand over their mouth. Then the next one in this is a little bit different yet. This is a shelf, and you have all kinds of shelves. Now, shelves are really aptly named because they act just like that thing that's on your wall. And L stands for the low shelf and H for the high shelf. Let me show you. If I bring this up, you can see that moving, and turn it up in decibels. You can see that everything below this area here gets raised. And the same thing happens if I reduce it. It cuts everything below that frequency. And then we can turn this on and off, and we can turn this on and do the same thing if we really want to boost the high frequencies. So check out what happens here. If I play.
You cannot bluff when you hold no cards. Slowly, Ballard, and I will not shoot you. You Texans and your honor. So
it's pretty cool for doing just kind of general raising and lowering of a lot of frequency to the high frequencies and then to the low frequencies. The rest of these, band 2, 3, 4, and 5, are what we call bell bands. Very specific. You can just choose a specific frequency and move from there. So in this case, if we've got 200 hertz, let's call it, say, 500 hertz, and we want to raise it, say, 10 decibels or so, we can select, these are in octaves, so a 3 or 2.9, let's just call it 3. That is a third of an octave, so it's a fraction. So if you say 10, it's going to be very, very narrow. A tenth of an octave, or 1 is a full octave.
You cannot bluff when you hold no cards. Slowly, Ballard, and I will.
And if we raise this up to say 2.5K, it's going to get really nasty.
You cannot bluff when you hold no cards. Slowly, Ballard.
And then, of course, way up here in the high sibilant frequencies.
You cannot bluff when you hold no cards.
And if we make it really, really narrow, you can kind of hear a pitch out of it.
You cannot bluff when you hold no cards. Slowly, Ballard, and I will not shoot you. You Texans and your honor. You cannot bluff when you hold no cards.
So that's kind of a cool thing. We wouldn't really do that in real life unless we wanted to find something in the frequency spectrum. So that's kind of it. You have a bunch of these bands, and we tell you how to use these really, really efficiently in the cinema sound education for all kinds of uses. Now let's drop down here to the bottom. Here we have the Q versus width, and you can actually say, hey, listen, I don't want to see this in octaves. I want to see this in hertz. So this is 20 hertz, 400 hertz, and if you want to view it that way. I'm just used to seeing Q, so that totally works for me. Then you can select ultra quiet, which makes this a really hyper quiet algorithm. It also takes a little more processing power. Now over here you have range, and this is actually just for this display. How high up do you want this to be? 30 decibels, minus 15 to minus 15, or 96 decibels, 48 to 49, which is 48 up, 48 down, which is really important because you can run this EQ 48 decibels up and 48 decibels down. I don't know of any other EQ on any digital audio workstation that'll let you do that, which is super, super amazing. Hopefully you're not having to use those kind of draconian settings. And by now you've already figured out that this blue stuff
You cannot bluff.
that's down here is the resulting frequency diagram or readout of the audio itself, which is super cool. Now lastly, up here we've got various presets that you can select that come with Adobe Audition. You can, of course, save those presets, the ones that you make that are custom, and then they'll ultimately show up in here. And then over here you have a routing, and for now it's just in stereo, but you can select all kinds of other routings if you choose, which again we talk about in the cinema sound education. That's about it for the Parametric EQ on how it functions, the basics of it, and how to use it and instantiate it in your sessions. Check out the Cinema Sound Education to learn how and why we use the Parametric EQ for sound effects, dialogue, music layering, and all kinds of other things in the final mix at cinemasound.com or at the bit.ly link below here. Until then, we'll see you in post.
Even if where you're stuck.